Hello, everybody. Super Jordan Reviews here, and so Endgame will be coming up, at least from the time I am in right now, in 22 days. So we're gonna do the ultimate MCU discussion, where we're gonna go through every MCU film theatrically, and we're gonna talk about each and every one of them. And so I'm doing it live. So if you're watching it later, this will be more podcast style. Podcast style. So we'll get there. And I also got a guest here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Danny.
All right. And so me and Danny are going to discuss every MCU film. So there will be timestamps in the description. We don't have them right now, but once this video is uploaded to YouTube, we'll put up the timestamps. All right. And it looks like we already have people in the chat. David's in the chat. And my friend Dragon Critic. Oh, I'm not gonna take any non-relevant questions to the topic though.
All
right.
So
And I apologize for the darkness, but I don't really have an editor for this right now. All right. So we're gonna let's talk about Iron Man. And just a heads up, Danny hasn't seen most of these.
Yeah, no, I haven't.
Until we get to when we get to the Phase 3 MCU films, we'll have more to talk about. So, Iron Man 1. What are your thoughts on Iron Man 1?
From the little I know of the movie, it seems really interesting, especially the premise. I'm just gonna give it a good review, mostly because it's what started off all the movies that lead up to it,
Yeah.
and it's a good way to, from what I think, it's a good way to start off the franchise, especially since it did so well financially.
Yeah. And then I've seen it, and I think it's pretty good. It's for a while I wasn't a big fan of it, but I rewatched it recently, and I didn't really get to appreciate how big this film was until recently. Mm-hmm. And obviously RDJ is awesome, Robert Downey Jr.
Mm. Yeah, he definitely is.
Yeah, and then War Machine had a different face in this movie.
Yeah, it did. They had to recast his actor.
Yeah, although I know some people think that he's better in Danny DeVito.
It's true. It is the real Danny DeVito.
And yeah, I know some people like Terrence Howard more than Don Cheadle. I probably like Don Cheadle just because I've known him more. Mm-hmm. But then again, I've never been a big fan of Rhodey's character because he hasn't had much to do.
Yeah, the side characters, they don't have much to do. And from what I understand, they're not going to have any movies coming out soon, except for Scarlet Witch. Sorry, not Scarlet Witch. My bad. Black Widow.
Black Widow. That's right.
There you go.
Oh yeah. Also, I forgot to mention. Spoilers for every movie we talk about.
Oh yeah.
So we can go in depth through all of them.
Okay.
Yeah. I forgot to put a timestamp, but it's fine. Just put 000.
Alright then.
Yeah. And then, what else? Pepper's the only love interest that stayed around in the MCU.
That's pretty. Yeah. It's true.
I mean, no one liked Natalie Portman. It's character. I mean, I like Natalie Portman, but But a lot of people didn't like her character.
I haven't seen a lot of the love interests.
Yeah.
But
Peggy is sadly not around, and then Betty Ross just got forgotten. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Pepper's the first one, and then we got Jon Favreau in this.
Yeah.
Happy Hogan. He was a good character.
He is.
Yeah.
And he even directs some of the movies too.
He only did Iron Man 1 and 2.
Did you really? Oh.
He was gonna. Well, that was because he had some confliction with Marvel Studios, because he was trying to do Iron Man 2, but they only gave him 2 years rather than 3. That's why Iron Man 2 didn't do as good.
That sucks.
Yeah. I think my only real issue with the film was that I just call him Jeff Bridges because I like saying that over Obadiah Stane. But Jeff Bridges was a weak villain in my opinion. They even tried to copy him, and they even did it worse in Ant-Man. Because Yellow Jacket was basically a copy of Obadiah Stane.
I like the suit though.
Yeah. And the final action scene was kind of underwhelming. But it was really good. you don't know this character, but Yensid was really good. He was the guy in the cave, and I like Jeff Bridges' line that Tony Stark was able to build the suit in a cave with a bunch of scraps. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to the next one. I give it an 9 out of 10.
Personally, I can't rank Iron Man, so
Yeah. Well, from what you have seen, how would
Yeah.
you rank it?
from what I've seen, I'll just give it maybe like a 9 out of 10. I like Robert Downey Jr. and his character, and I'm sure the beginnings of it would be really interesting. And then
Yeah.
again, my bias just because
And
it
he's-
started the entire thing.
Yeah, and also he basically started everything, and his
Yeah.
story arc is gonna finish up in Endgame. All right.
Don't say that.
Well, I mean, I'm not sure if he's gonna die, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Dio keeps saying he's gonna die.
But I think what's gonna happen is, I think he'll stay around, but I think he'll quit being Iron Man, and just help out as Tony Stark.
Probably.
Yeah.
I can see that happening, yeah.
All right, so let's move on to the Incredible Hulk, which, in my opinion, is my least favorite MCU film. And you haven't seen it.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. But from what I've heard, it seems like a lot of people's least favorite.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad. It's okay. Just-
I know they swapped the actors,
Yeah.
just like with War Machine.
Yeah. I think Edward Norton actually worked. Because the thing with Mark Ruffalo that I noticed is that he would not be very good in a solo film. So I'm guessing that Norton would probably be better with, like, if they kept him, he'd be better in his solo films, but then in his team up films, not as good. But then again, we never saw his team dynamic exactly.
That's true.
And then the film is just, as an MCU film, it's probably more of a 5 out of 10 simply because the only things that even come back are Bruce Banner, which even then he gets a different actor swap.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Hello, Alex. And also, what's it called?
Mark Ruffalo?
No. General Ross. That's
Oh.
right. He came back in Civil War and Infinity War,
Yeah.
and he might come back in Endgame. I don't know though, because there's still the Accords are technically still in progress.
I wonder if they'll ever get him to be Red Hulk. I kind of don't see that happening, but it'd be pretty interesting.
Especially because I heard that Endgame might be Mark Ruffalo's last movie.
Well, they got tired of him spoiling everything.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah.
But at least Tom Holland's staying.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't really have much to talk about here. I mean, the movie's just kind of bland and forgettable. The final action scene was okay. Although I noticed that before Ragnarok, the Hulk only got 2 lines.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you do?
The only lines that he said before Ragnarok were Hulk smash in this movie. And in Avengers, he called Loki a puny god.
You really not say any more?
Nope.
Huh.
Well, I mean, except for like,
Bruh.
like that.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Alright.
screaming doesn't count as saying words.
Yeah. Alright, let's move on to Iron Man 2, which is ironically my second least favorite MCU. No. Third. I forgot about Dark World. Third least favorite. It was my second least favorite for a while, but I rewatched it and it wasn't as like weak as I remembered. And you also haven't seen this.
I mean, I've seen like a portion of it, but like I haven't seen a good chunk of it.
Wait, what was the portion you watched?
It was Tony Stark. He was entering in a race, and then I'm pretty sure it was the first time the main villain, I think his name was Whiplash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first time. Well, from what I saw, the first time he attacked Tony Stark, and then I don't know. I found the premise, or like the villain's powers, I should say, pretty interesting.
Yeah. Alright. Well, you're not missing much because that was probably the best scene in the movie.
Was it really?
Wait, do you see like the whole action sequence or just the race part?
The race, the action sequence. I saw the transformation actually.
Yeah, that's like the best part of the movie.
That transformation was really cool. Yeah.
The rest varies. Although, despite the fact that this is weaker, I like it more than Incredible Hulk because it actually did have an influence on the MCU. Like how it introduced Black Widow.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh,
Yeah.
I completely forgot about
And
that.
she was pretty good in this film. Like how she beat up Happy Hogan. Yeah. and uh, even though like it is kind of weak because it has like they try to do too much with the film with how many subplots that they have. I admire like what John Favreau was trying to do with his film,
Mm.
like how Tony is trying to get over like his issues with his dad,
Mm-hmm.
because he didn't see it, but he felt like his dad didn't love him.
I saw not like a glimpse of it, but like during, I think it was, yes, Civil War. There was like a glimpse of that with like
Yeah,
the flashbacks, and I did get something.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but it was nice when they showed like a little one of Howard Stark's older videos, and he said that his greatest creation will always be Tony.
That's sweet. That's really cool, man.
Yeah, the
I wish I
final
saw
action
that.
scene was also kind of underwhelming though.
Was it?
It was just a CGI battle.
Mm.
And then Whiplash was a very underwhelming villain.
Mm.
Like he's probably like I would rank the MC villains as Malekith worst, Abomination second worst, and then third worst I'd either say Ronan or Whiplash.
Mm.
Because I think Whiplash could have easily been a better villain, but he only has 2 encounters with Tony Stark:
Mm.
the race scene and the final action scene.
Was it really?
Yeah, for the majority of the film, he was just locked up in a place with Sam Rockwell.
Was Whiplash the main villain of the story?
I mean, there's technically 2 main villains. It was him and what's his name? Justin Hammer. Justin Hammer. Although Justin Hammer wasn't so much a villain, he just wanted to take away Tony Stark's suits. Well,
That's
Whiplash
interesting.
was the main villain, and he was just trying to kill Tony Stark for killing his. Because sorry, not killing, but I believe Howard Stark like abused his dad in the business or something like that. Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh, and this is where Rhodey changed his face to John Cheadle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See that.
And then what else was there? Oh, and I mean, even though Nick Fury was in the post-credit scene for Iron Man, this is where he technically got to shine a little bit, even though he didn't have a lot of scenes.
Mm.
Yeah. All right, and let's move on to Thor. So, Thor is So, what are your takes on Thor from what you've heard?
I don't hear much about the Thor movies other than Ragnarok, mostly because from what I understand it's the best out of the 3.
Yeah.
But I have not full clips, but like a brief rundown. I've seen a few clips of it, and from what I understand, the premise is that Thor, he got banished over to Earth because like he was seen unfit,
Yeah.
and his like he couldn't lift up his hammer. So I know that was majority of the movie trying to be worthy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But, when I first saw this movie, this was easily like top 5 Marvel movies.
Was it really?
Yeah. Like I believe my ranking was Civil War, Guardians. What else? Yeah, Civil War 1. Second was Guardians. Number 3 was like Winter Soldier, Avengers. Then I put Thor at like number 5. But then like I rewatched it like twice, and then I thought it's not as good. Because it's mainly just because now I think Ragnarok is a little bit of blame because they kind of I'm allowed to spoil Ragnarok,
Yeah,
obviously.
I'm fine.
Like I feel like Ragnarok kind of like made these films like not matter. Like I was very invested in Thor and Jane Foster's relationship, but they kind of just threw that away in Ragnarok, which kind of disappointed me. Same with like I wasn't a big fan of the Warriors 3. I'm not sure if you know that.
No, was it the core guy or?
No, those are Thor's friends.
Uh,
But in Ragnarok, they just got killed off. Like they didn't even get like a good death scene. Hela just showed up and just threw a sword at them, and that's how they died. I was upset by that.
it's probably better than other death scenes, but
Yeah. We'll get to Ragnarok. I'll complain about Ragnarok when we get there.
all right.
But I still really like Thor. It's I think I really like the Shakespearean style. I think Kenneth Branagh is a very good director. Sorry, he's an actor too, but he's a really good director. And he put like a good style into this film. Oh, we also got the first Chris in the series. Unless if you want to count Evans as first, because they came out around the same time.
Did it really?
Because the Thor and First Avenger came out in 2011. I think Thor came out first though. Oh yeah, it obviously came out first. Yeah. And then they introduced, well, until they introduced the purple guy, they introduced the best villain in the MCU.
Who was it?
Until they introduced the purple man.
Oh, from Jessica Jones?
No,
Purple Man.
Avengers.
Oh, my bad.
That's why I try to keep it low key,
Uh-huh.
just so that I can do like the joke later on. But you just killed it.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Nah,
I realized.
Loki was the best villain in the MCU at this time. Then again, there was no competition really because Whiplash and Abomination were trash. But still, Loki was still. I think this was probably not exactly Tom Hiddleston's like best performance, but I think this was the best of Loki in terms of like him being a villain. Because yeah, he was good in Avengers, but his motivation was more I want to take over the world. While in here, his motivation was he found out like he was adopted and he felt betrayed by Odin, and so the reason why he tried to do a lot of the bad things that he did was just get his father's approval. Yeah. Even though he tried to kill his brother.
That's how the royal family goes.
Yeah, basically. And then I think that's all I have to say for Thor. I mean, a lot of the things I really liked about it kind of got undone in Ragnarok. Although I heard that Jane Foster might come back. Because when they mentioned characters that died from the snap, they mentioned a couple characters that were what's the word that they thought were too spoilers. Jane Foster was on there, and Natalie Portman said that she was open for coming back. Yeah, and then you don't know this guy, but another character, Dr. Selvig. He hasn't been around in a while, but he was a good. Well, he was an okay character. He was in Age of Ultron, but he only had like one scene.
Was it?
Thor's vision scene. He was the guy that went with him to the cave.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was really confused when I saw that.
Yeah.
It's like, who is this?
We'll complain about Age of Ultron later.
Okay.
Alright. And then, yeah, let's move on to First Avenger, which is my first 9 out of 10 movie. Now.
Alright, First Avenger, Captain America Shield. He gets really buff. What else? I know Red Skull is there. I know a lot of people like Red Skull, and then they were
Yeah, Red Skull was a great villain.
They were upset when he like wasn't mentioned, like for a while.
But then Infinity War.
Infinity War, yeah.
At least the Russos care about the fans. Nah, that's an understatement because a lot of them do care.
Yeah. It's probably just they can't like find a way to fit them into the story.
Yeah, like I heard something like they could have put him in Guardians of the Galaxy and didn't just have him just say something like, or just have him appear for some reason. Yeah, because I remember me and another YouTuber that I watch would always say that he didn't actually die; he just got teleported into space.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Now this was probably my. I know I said what's his name? Thor was my 5th favorite back then. This was my 6th favorite. Because mainly because I just really liked the character of Steve Rogers, and I thought that he was developed really well as a character, and I liked how they gave him like a golden heart, and how he was worthy of like holding the shield and having the super soldier serum. Now, something that I would always hear was that the first hour was great, and that the second hour was more of just a montage through World War II. And while I can see that, I still kind of enjoy the second half of the movie, especially like the part where with the plane where he crashes into the ice.
Oh yeah, and that's where he gets frozen, doesn't he?
Yeah, yeah. Although there's a little bit of a plot. It's not so much First Avenger's fault. It's more Captain Marvel, because I was a little confused with the Tesseract.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Although, something that I heard was that because Howard Stark had the Tesseract right after Steve got frozen.
Mm-hmm.
Although something I heard was that Shield actually lost the Tesseract after a while,
Mm.
and I'm guessing that they didn't get it back until what's it called? Captain Marvel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could explain that.
Yeah. Then Red Skull was a good villain.
Mm-hmm.
We already covered him. Arnim Zola, I don't think you know him.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a Nazi guy with Red Skull. He was a pretty good side villain.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got introduced to Bucky.
Right.
Yeah.
Without metal arm. Damn.
No.
Yeah, no metal arm.
No
Imagine
metal
he,
arm.
Imagine he had the metal arm already.
Well, I mean, he
Just-
technically had it in the film because I'm not sure if you know a lot of his story.
I just know he was Steve's partner.
There's a scene in the movie where they were fighting on a train,
Uh-huh.
and then Bucky fell off the train, and then he lost his arm,
Mm.
and then a bunch of Hydra people took him in, and then they like brainwashed him.
Right.
For some reason, like he doesn't age, I guess.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Did
And then
they ever explain that?
then they might have given him like, because from what I know, Winter Soldier, like when he's brainwashed, is much stronger than actual Bucky.
Mm. Got the.
But he's weaker
adrenaline
because I
boost.
noticed that he was weaker in Infinity War.
Is Bucky's gonna have to train his body?
Yeah.
Pump up full of super soldier serum.
Yeah. Although I heard he might be, they might, Cap might drop or Steve Rogers is gonna drop the shield and give it to what's his name? Bucky. Yeah.
There was a story arc that kind of followed something like that.
Yeah. Although it's a maybe, because my theory for Endgame is that Cap is gonna go back with Peggy, like back in time, and they're gonna
Right.
dance. Because I remember on the plane, Peggy was telling Steve how what's it called. They're trying to arrange dance.
Right, like right before Steve crashes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they. In Age of Ultron, they were having flashbacks, and that was there from what I remember.
Yeah.
But it was Steve and her ready to dance.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this is probably like one of the most underrated MCU films. Like I'd put it up with Ant-Man and the Wasp and Guardians too.
Mm.
And kind of Iron Man 3, but that's more divisive.
Mhm.
Where some people think it's great, and some people think it's trash.
Mm.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next film, which is finally one that you've seen. The Avengers.
Seen the Avengers.
Yeah. So I don't want to do all the talking. What are your thoughts on Avengers?
My thoughts on Avengers. For starters, I mean, it was the first. It was the first movie from the entire Marvel franchise I've seen. At the time, I had no idea what was going on, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, I did find majority of interesting. I think that's why I fell asleep. But then when I saw some of the other movies and then rewatched it, I realized like a lot of things I missed. I think out of all the characters, Hawkeye's my favorite, just because the idea of this like non-powered individual fighting with a bunch of superheroes, I thought it was really funny. And like
Forgetting Black Widow.
yeah, Black Widow too. I was gonna mention her. I don't know. I just think it's really cool that like the both of them are just there fighting aliens with a bow and arrow and pistols.
I was upset the first time.
Were you really?
Because I think I saw Age of Ultron before I saw Avengers,
Mhm.
and I was all like, "Why the heck are these two people with them? They have no point to be in this film." But then I actually like understood.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really like the character of Hawkeye mostly.
You know.
All the fight scenes actually, I thought were really interesting. They were pretty dynamic. There was a lot of funny things, and I know,
Hi, Denova. Oh no, just a guy. Continue what you're saying.
Oh my bad. I know a lot of people found the Hulk scene where he transforms and then punches the giant alien that was headed towards him. A lot of people found that cool at the time.
Yeah, that was cool.
And I really liked in the bloopers where Mark Ruffalo turns around and he's like, "Guys, you're on your own," and he starts running down. That was really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably like one of the most underrated MCU films. Like I'd put it up with Ant-Man and the Wasp and Guardians too.
I really liked in the bloopers where Mark Ruffalo turns around and he's like, "Guys, you're on your own," and he starts running down. That was really funny.
Yeah. Hey, that man is playing Galaga.
Yeah.
I understood that reference. Yeah,
It's funny.
yeah. And then what else? The team dynamics were really good.
Yeah.
The actors had really good chemistry with each other.
They bounced off each other really well.
Yeah. And then yeah, like even characters that didn't really get like, even if because the main character that was like shining like at this point was Tony Stark at the time,
Right.
because his movie was most popular,
Mm-hmm.
and so they even got a chance to like make other characters shine, especially Hawkeye, since this was like, oh no, this wasn't Hawkeye's first film.
Was it not?
He was in Thor.
Was it really?
Well, he had like one scene though.
Oh.
There was a scene in Thor where Thor went to go get Mjolnir because it was trapped.
Uh-huh.
But Shield actually took over that area,
Yeah.
and I believe they were doing like research there. But then Thor broke in, and they sent Hawkeye to like they were about to have him like shoot an arrow at Thor to stop him. But then they realized that he was just trying to get the hammer. But then they arrested him. But Hawkeye only had like that one scene.
That would have been pretty funny if Hawkeye tried to fight Thor.
Yeah, I actually heard something funny where someone wanted a head-to-head scene where Hawkeye came like up front with Thanos,
Oh.
and then he was all like, he obviously won't fight Thanos because we know where that'll go. Sigh.
You really?
Yeah, I believe they were trying to say that it'd be cool if he did that to Thanos
That would be cool,
as
yeah.
a comeback. Although he wasn't that good in this film, Hawkeye, because he was
That's true.
brainwashed for the majority of the film.
Yeah, he was brainwashed, and then he came back to...
Yeah,
I don't know. Anytime I see Hawkeye, it's always really cool. I don't know. I just like him
I've
a
always
lot.
just been a Cap fan.
You've been a Cap fan? Captain America's
Yeah,
cool. I like a lot of
Yeah, because Cap
characters.
is probably, he's tied for my favorite character in the MCU. The other character, he's not there. We're not there yet.
We're not there yet.
He's great.
Alright.
You already know who it is.
I know who it is, yeah.
He's underrated. He deserves more love. Like
He's the
Cap-
reason why we were having another movie.
Oh, you just gave it away.
What? Oh.
I'm gonna talk
really?
trash about the haters though. Yeah.
That's true. Well, overall opinion on Avengers, I give it 9 out of 10.
I give it a 9 as well.
It's, again,
Wait, what are your issues though?
what? The issues? It's-
Like, why is it not a 9? I mean, not a 10.
Why not a 10? Guess, I don't know. It's like a feeling. Like, I can't, from memory, I can't find
Yeah.
out like one thing I really hated about it.
Yeah.
Or like really disliked about it. But I don't feel like it was like that good. But it was a good starting point for sure.
Yeah, I think it's more just, it's not the most rewatchable. Like, there are other films that are better.
Mm-hmm.
And also more just, what's the word that I'm trying to get? Like, there are a little bit of bland scenes. Not a lot, but just a couple of scenes that could have been better.
I remember Cap's suit.
Oh, yeah, we don't speak of Cap's suit.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's.
That's the worst of the suits.
Yeah. I actually know when I first did watch him, like, why does Cap look a little bit funny?
Yeah. Because I think they wanted to make him look more comic accurate or something like that.
Probably.
Alright.
Too bad this is probably the one time people are not going to want the comic accurate.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want Scarlet Witch to look comic accurate. Because
Yeah.
I don't like her suit.
Will look a bit strange. I feel like they could.
And then I don't like, I mean, Hawkeye's suit looks good in the comics, but for film, I don't think it would look that good.
Yeah.
Unless if they gave him the purple vest. The purple vest would look pretty cool.
He has like a semi-burgundy vest. At least that's what I remember.
Yeah. And then I'm glad they changed Gamora's suit from the comics because she looks kind of weird.
Oh yeah, with like the white suit, right?
She wears like a fishing net or something like that.
She really?
Something like that. It's
I
not
don't remember.
exactly.
I know she had like yellow streaks from
Yeah.
what I remember.
And then Falcon, I'm neutral too, because I think both suits look cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Thor looks kind of cheesy with the helmet, but he looks good without it.
Yeah. I think that's why they didn't add it.
All right. So let's move on to Iron Man 3.
Mm-hmm.
And you've seen this one as well.
I have seen this one. Well, again, it's more of a fact that I didn't understand what was going on thanks to the previous ones. The story overall, for me, was pretty interesting. It was the first time I've ever seen an Iron Man movie, solo movie, and I thought the character was really funny. It was, I guess because since I haven't seen the other two, it was a bit weird why he wanted to destroy his suits, or like had that sort of like problem at the very beginning. That was it, right? At the very beginning, he wanted to destroy suits.
No,
No, was it not?
he didn't destroy him till the end.
No, but he wanted to. Or
No, that
am I
was.
thinking of something else?
I think you're thinking about his PTSD.
Oh, there we go. It's been a while since I've seen it.
Yeah. Well, I just watched it like last night.
Yeah, like Jordan's a lot more. He has a lot of this stuff remembered. I've seen it once, and that's about it.
And plus, I watched it. I watched this one. You should check out BHL Hudson. He made this like 3 hour long video where he goes over everything that happened in the MCU in chronological order.
Does he really?
Yeah.
That would probably help me.
Yeah. Well, the only thing is that he goes over the Netflix shows too, and the Agents of Shield and Runaways and all that, and he has to talk about Inhumans. Sadly,
I did see Defenders actually.
I didn't watch. I didn't watch any of them on
You didn't?
Netflix. I
It's-
almost saw Daredevil, but then I was like, nah, I'm good.
I heard Daredevil's good. Like I have a habit of watching things like, and I don't watch the stuff before it. So like I saw Defenders, I barely had any idea what was going
Yeah.
on, but I still found it really interesting.
I remember I wanted to watch Civil War, and the only other films I probably saw in the franchise were like Iron Man 3 and Winter Soldier. Oh yeah, speaking of that, this was actually my first MCU film in theaters.
Oh, was it really Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, actually, I might have seen the first Iron Man, but I don't remember. But the first one I remember seeing was Iron Man 3. Yeah, and it was a cool experience. I mean, I didn't understand a lot of it, but I still really liked it. Oh, what are your thoughts on the most controversial scene of the movie?
Oh, Trevor.
No. You see, the Mandarin's here, but he's not here. You see?
I thought it was a pretty funny scene. I was a little confused, especially with the villain twist, and then how like drastic the powers were. I mean, with the explosions, it did make some sense, but then they kind of like threw in. I guess the plot twist was a bit like sudden, but I didn't really mind it. in my opinion.
Yeah. I thought the twist was okay. I thought it was funny the way that the fact that the Mandarin was just some British dude that was drunk,
Yeah.
but Trevor's gonna defeat Thanos. He's gonna kill Thanos.
Definitely.
Strongest in the MCU.
They gotta break him out of prison. No, he'll break himself out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why he never fought Tony Stark, because he's too overpowered.
Exactly.
Yeah, but like joking aside, like I think it would have been okay if Aldrich Killian was a better villain, because I wasn't a big fan of his character, and he kind of just went insane for no reason.
I guess it's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean,
Wait.
and he was kind of just a Syndrome knockoff.
It's true. Didn't Pepper get injected with the?
Yeah, she did.
Oh, I don't
With
remember.
what's it called?
Whatever turns them into like
The Extremist or something like that.
extremists, like the Human Torch, basically, except they explode.
Yeah, I wasn't a big. I mean, the final. Let's see. Yeah, the Extremist wasn't that good actually.
Did they like try to do something with their character by injecting her with the?
Not really. It was more just a foil for Tony's. I mean, like a motivation for Tony Stark. They basically said that in the movie too. Oops. Like she was all like, I believe Killian was all like, "Oh, I didn't just give Pepper injection just to motivate you," because I believe he kidnapped the president as well. Although it was an Obama, obviously.
They can't have that.
No. Yeah, and then there's some stupid moments in the film, like the president was stuck in the Iron Patriot suit, tied up,
Oh yeah.
and for some reason it was completely useless. And then Rhodey put it on later, and it was completely normal.
Yeah. I feel like they could have like taken a minute or two to explain it real quickly.
Yeah, like say, they turned off the suit,
Yeah. Or
and you
like,
could only turn it off from like the arc reactor.
yeah, like Rhodey has a specific thing that allowed him to work it.
Yeah, or say that it's programmed to Rhodey, so only he can use it.
Yeah.
But even then, Killian was I think Killian hacked into his suit or something like that.
Yeah, they gotta explain this stuff well.
Yeah. Although, despite like my issues with the film, I also really like admire like the stuff that Shane Black did with this movie, like how they try to go deeper into Tony Stark's character. Like
Yeah.
Tony Stark had a lot of monologues throughout the film, which I thought were really nice, and I like the monologue that he has at the end where he was talking about how Oh, it was when he got the arc reactor out of him.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and how he was talking about how what's it called? He's saying how he was a changed man, and that even if you take his house and his gadgets, he's still Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I thought that was a really nice position to put him in.
Mm-hmm.
And even the kid that he met, I forgot his name.
Yeah, tiny kid.
I remember he gave him like a bunch of toys or something, and he signed it as the mechanic.
No, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did he make like a potato gun or something? He like rebuilt
Oh
it.
yeah, he did. Yeah, and what was it called? And I like the scene where he just got like a bunch of ornaments or something like that, and used them as bombs. Like he just built like other weapons to help him out, which I thought was cool.
Yeah.
And the final action scene was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
actually thought it was really
and
cool.
I think this is
Keep kicking me.
and I think this is like top 5 MCU music for me. Like
I don't remember the music.
like the
that
score,
much. What
because
was-
like I'm going in terms of like instrumental scores only. Like I'm not gonna include like Awesome Mix Volume 1 or anything. But,
Oh, like syncing up with the actual battle.
well, not just the battle, but just the music in general for the
Just
film.
music control.
Yeah, like it goes like da 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 dun 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 dun. I really like that. It sounds awesome.
Mm.
I think I'd put it up with what else? It's like top 5 because Infinity War also had great music. Both Guardians had a good score, and there's an Rock had a good score.
Mm.
Yeah, so I'd give it an 8.
Wait, I gave it. What did I give it again? Oh yeah.
You give it a 7. All right, you have time to do Dark World, or you have to go.
No, I gotta go.
All right,
That's it for me.
we'll do Dark World next week. So we'll be